seats, please. Please settle. could we ask you kindly to all take your seats, please, especially people that are in this aisle to the left of me, immediately to the left of me. We need to clear the aisle very urgently. So other than those who have been designated to assist, the rest of you, please, could you kindly take your seats?
Ladies and gentlemen, can we clear this aisle here, this center aisle that I've been pointing to? The coffin will be coming that way. Can you please make sure that the marshals can get just clear up there, please? Ladies and gentlemen, can you please take your seats, but also just clear that main aisle for us, please.
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, the hearse has arrived. Please, we kindly urge you to settle down, take your seats, because proceedings are about to begin.
Izofika isilex khona. Space. Let's open up. Let's open up. Let's open up. Let's make a space, please. Okay. Space. Please. Cameraman, please. Move back. Move back. Move back, cameraman. Move back. Let's open up.
Open.
Let's open up. They need to be pushed back, nothing else.
كلام شهادة كلام شهادة
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
كلام شهادة كلام شهادة كلام شهادة no, but it's all right. No, but it's all right. Thank you.
dear comrades and friends, ladies and gentlemen, time is tight. It's a short program. Could we kindly ask all of you to settle down, take your seats, so that we can begin. Once again, dear ladies and gentlemen, I see you are greeting each other, long lost friends, warmly embracing each other, but you'll have time to do that after proceedings. We're going to now ask you, all of you, every one of you, comrades and friends, we're asking every one of you to now take your seats. We can do the greetings afterwards. I know you are delighted to please kindly take your seats. My name is Derek Hanekom. And a wonderful man. Also to give and pay special condolences and to the Kathrada to Lalu, all stalwarts and veterans, all involved in the struggle with Kathy next to achieve what we have today. Thabo Mbeki, former President Kgalema Motlanthe, and all justice ministers, leaders of political parties, all political parties who are here, people from all over the world who are here, all alliance. This is a short function at the time. There will be an official memorial service over the weekend, the details announced. Today's short program will be a simple one in keeping with a life of, with very short tributes from those who will be speaking. I don't want to point out anyone by name, but those of you who find it difficult to make the short tributes, we will be stepping in very politely and asking you, round up if you don't stick to your time, because we really do have to stick to our time. So I would now like to call on our religious leaders representing our diverse faiths, and we have many, many represented here today. But I would like to call upon the following
members of the faith community, Mulana Bam, Archbishop Makhoba, Guru Jay Naidu, Rabbi Sa'ar Shaket. I would like to ask you to come up, please, and to speak in that order. Thank you. Leaders, as I've just mentioned. That's the problem of not being a chameleon and having eyes at the... You're very welcome. Over to you.
I would like to start off with the traditional greetings of peace in our faith. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of the Almighty be upon each and every one of you. Distinguished guests, we first begin by praising the Almighty for the many favors Allah has bestowed upon us. And we say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Almighty, the Lord, the sustainer and the cherisher of the universe, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Salutations be upon the messengers of the Almighty and all of those who follow them in righteousness. On occasion like this, in our tradition, in our teachings, there is a phrase, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Almighty do we belong, and to the Almighty is our return. And I think this phrase is an ideal way to start off my prayer and address on this occasion. On behalf of the Muslim community, we would like to take pride in a member of our community, and we would also like to express our heartfelt condolence to the Kathrada family, and not only to the family, to his colleagues, his comrades, and to the entire country. Mr. Kathrada, or Uncle Kathy as he was fondly known, had dedicated his life to the pursuits of freedom and justice, valued in all traditions and are cherished in all values. In the Quran, if there is one word that describes the overriding value that permeates our teachings, it is justice. Says Allah in the Holy Quran, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلُنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانَ لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. The Almighty has sent all the messengers of the Almighty, لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ, to establish people upon justice. The Quran further goes on to say that be steadfast upon justice, even in conflicting emotions. Thus it says, كُونُوا قَوَّامَيْنَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَوْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Be steadfast upon justice, even if it be against your own kind, even if it be against your own self. And it tells us, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ. Do not let the dislike of anyone make you swerve from justice. So even against your own kind, and even in dealing with people whom you might dislike, remain steadfast upon justice. هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. It is closer towards righteousness. And with regard to freedom, the second Caliph of Islam had said that when he told someone who had oppressed a person, since when have you enslaved people? When the Almighty freed people. In this regard, we know that Uncle Kathy and on behalf of our utmost to be able to play our the pursuance of freedom and justice and throughout the world. The library of knowledge. The curtain setting and closing on a generation of gallant and selfless fighters for freedom and justice. As we join the rest of South Africa in mourning his passing, it is an opportune time to renew our commitment to the values that he stood for and he lived for. This was his address at the time of the passing away of Madiba, where he made mention of some of the challenges Poverty, ill health, and hunger still stalk our land. Greed show their ugly faces. Xenophobia chief in our beauty. Parts of the world out there find themselves in unhappy situations. Economies falter and stagger. Extremism and fundamental. On this occasion, Mr. Kat on our laurels but continue domestic and internationals for a better tomorrow. Hope. Once, Mr. Kathrada and Uncle Kathy, to a colleague of mine, he was asked, and he replied, the face of a young child. May the Almighty forgive his shortcomings. May the Almighty admit his...
Who, on looking at South Africa today, will say, no, not here, not ever. The generation of Kathy and his generation, of the call to lead with courage, and to be gentle giants, gentle soul, and fortune, to be noble when all around, proud, the deceitful, and distorted. Remind us through the witness of people like that history judges us, and to the degree to which in our dealings, worthy at the bar of time. Thank you that such life, the proud will be scattered, the mighty pulled down from their thrones, be empty. In this time when evil thrives because the good do nothing, inspire us, Holy God, to pick up the torch which Kathy carried with such dignity, to illuminate us with your light in order to illuminate your country, so that the poor might see in us a friend and the oppressed a compassionate liberator. Give us grace, God, to speak boldly when truth needs to contest power, when vision is suspect, when a culture of lies holds sway, and when the gains of our long struggle seem to be in danger of being compromised. For in doing so, we will honor the life and legacy of Kathy, whose witness remained untarnished even to the end. Lord, we pray that you dispel the darkness in each one of us, dispel the comfort of wanting to despair when times are tough. You have overcome. Kathy has overcome. We shall overcome. You, God, know the needs of our country and the world. Undertake for us in these times when dark shadows hang over us and over the world. The lamps of decency burns low. Raise again prophets in our midst, wise teachers and righteous leaders, so that the people may again find hope for many better tomorrows. For Barbara, Kathrada's family and comrades, and all those who mourn, we ask that you grant them deep measure of comfort, not despair, abiding consolation, and a sense of satisfaction that so gracious and generous a life needs to be mourned, yes, but more especially celebrated. And so God bless the soul of Ahmed Kathrada, bless the memory of Kathy, and God bless you and your family, and God bless South Africa. Amen.
One and all here. We have assembled for this celebration, and we want to invoke that humility Father of the nation as displayed throughout his pray. Now can we all bow our heads in prayer and project this energy, this cosmic energy, so this Father can rest in peace in God's abode. Om Gajananam Bhuttganati Sevitam Kapit Jambo Palachara Bhakshanam Umasutam Soka Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Padapanjakam Om Skandhaya Kartigaya Parvati Nandanaya Cha Mahadevaya Kumaraya Subramanyaya Te Namaham. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanho Rudra Prachodayat. Om Ulagalamunan Odakuariyavan Nilavulaviyan Nirmalivediyan Alhagal Sodiyan Ambhalatvaduva Malasilam Bhadi Vastivanangom Malasilam Bhadi Vastivanangom Om Tirusatram. Thank you very much. May his soul rest in peace. From the Hindu community of South Africa and the Hindu diaspora, may his soul rest in peace and may the family find comfort. Thank you.
Shalom Aleichem. Verses to justify the divine verdict. Out of the words of the prophet Isaiah. A voice says, cry out, and I say, why shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its beauty is like the flower of the field. All grass withers, the flower fades, when the wind of the Lord blows upon it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, and the flower fades, but the word of the Lord our God shall endure forever. הצור אין עוול צדיק וישר הוא הצור תמים בכל פועל מי יאמר לו מה תפעל מתומך חיה מוריד שאול ויעל הצור תמים בכל מעשה מי יאמר לו מה תעשה פקדון כל רוחות חלילה לך זיכרוננו למחות ויהיו עיניך ברחמים עלינו מי יגור באוהליך מי ישכון in your house who may dwell who are upright who do justly who speak the truth within their hearts, or bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless, but honor those who revere God. Give their word and count what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who do not take bribe. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. And finally, Psalm 23. אדוני רואי ולא אחסר בנאודי שירביצני על מי מנוחות ינהלני נפשי ישובב ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו גם כי אילך בגיא צל מוות לא אירא רע כי אתה עמדי שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צרורי דשנת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in the straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Elohim. May his dear soul be bound in.
Our religious leaders. On Premier David and also a trustee
national leadership of the ANC, Chief Justice, executive members, leaders of different political parties, comrades and friends. We have gathered here today to bid our final and fond farewell to Comrade Ahmed Kathrada, Uncle Keith, a man whose activism has been a consistent feature in the struggle for liberation and the fundamental transformation of South Africa over the last 75 years. Uncle Kathy was essentially part of the team, strategy and tactics for every epoch since the 1940s, as both a deep thinker of that special generation of South Africans who devoted their lives to marshal the people of our country and the world behind that vision of a non-racial, non-sexist, united and democratic and prosperous society. Of course, we are here today to pay our last respect to a man who inspired our nation just by force of example, a true revolutionary who lived a life underpinned by compassion, humility, a sense of justice and equality, and respect for human dignity. Of course, we are here to mourn his passing, not because of the tragedy of death itself, because death is part of life. We are here because his powerful but gentle presence on earth enriched our lives personally and politically. We grieve his passing because his humility helped to bridge the gap between various generations in the movement and in society. We grieve his death because his work in promoting non-racialism, which is unfolding as well right now, at a time when our country needs more consistent and determined effort to build social cohesion and nation building on the basis of equality and social justice. We grieve his departure because he leaves our national life much poorer. Although he is silent today, Comrade Kathy was never a silent man throughout his life of 87 years. So we rate his life because Uncle Kathy always made, he refuses to be silent. To end the day with whom Uncle Kathy worked. I wish to thank all of you. We honor you to bring our country to become a free and democratic leaders. For they represent that dignity, that integrity of the liberation of our people and the conscience of our struggle veterans are heard and respected. So as we begin the Constitution,
you know, he stood for and what he was and what he represented, ministers and all sorts of other things. But we are all equal than anyone else. So, you know, I had this all quarters represented here. Our challenge reality is that what we see becomes a living reality. Such a well-loved man passed away without us experiencing the sadness with each other. And Barbara, We're so delighted to have you here because we are here to share with you and to give you support and solidarity in this time. Barbara and the whole Kathrada family. We are here for you, and from all of us, we want to offer you our strongest condolences and solidarity. We now ask a member of the family to say a few words on behalf of the family, and therefore I would request Nazir Kathrada to come onto the stage and say a few words.
On behalf of the Kathrada family, I would like to pay a tribute to my uncle. Kathy has always been integral in my life. I was here 6 months old when Kathy was arrested in 1964. From I started visiting Kathy in prison. We discussed the going on, friends, politics, and my life. Of justice has guided my life. His inherent inclination, his sense of discipline, is in us. Yasmin and my daughters are, and not to his witty nature. His sense of justice. Kathy from a young age by his commitment, but to the wider Kathrada family, Kathy was more than just a liberation hero and politician. Sorely missed for the importance he played, but most importantly, his sweet nature and hard work, quips and teasing. The Kathrada family lost many years in dignity and with pride. And especially to Barbara, thank you for coming into our family, for being his companion. Kathy, thank you for fighting, lives through us, all South. It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but retire a little from sight of Emerson. Thank you very much.
Him, loved, of course, by all of us. Our veterans, and those who spent many years with him on Robben Island as some of the closest friends and comrades. He and his Michael Maharaj and years on Robben Island. You become an even stronger revolution than the revolutionary who mentored you. And of course, the person with words, known Comrade Kathy for no less than 60 years, is also a trustee of the
Good morning. Namaste. Has loved our heartfelt condolences deservedly taken for me to of your great grief and pain and sorrow at this great loss in your lives. But I cherish the hope that you will have comfort from the knowledge that we too mourn his death, that we share your grief, your sorrow with you. Your pain is also our pain, that your loss is our loss and our country's loss, and that although he has passed on, he shall always occupy a special place in the minds and hearts of all freedom-loving people for his unselfish contribution during a time span that covers 3/4 of a century. But while we mourn his death, and rightly so, we also need to celebrate his life and the rich legacy he has passed on to us and to future generations. Among these are his humility and simplicity, his spirit of commitment and dedication to noble causes, his willingness to make sacrifices on behalf of and in the interests of our people. The people, he has a sense of loyalty to the ANC, his passion for justice, and his intense love for children and for their well-being. But equally important to him was the issue of pursuing and promoting the idea of non-racialism. And since he firmly believed that it was from the ranks of today's youth that the leaders of tomorrow would emerge, he advocated the development of the youth as an important priority. In addition, he was concerned about the fact that people were ignorant of our history, and therefore he believed that the promotion and preservation of our history was an absolute necessity. He also believed in and supported the struggle of the Palestinian people for justice and equality. And he believed in the immediate release of all political prisoners wherever there might be. All these beliefs and convictions are part and parcel of the core objectives of the foundation named after Comrade Kathrada. And last but not least, he was very concerned about the poor and the marginalized in our society. He therefore cherished the hope that the powers that be would radically transform the political miracle of 1994 into the social of the future. He was convinced that then only would the triple evils of inequality, poverty, and unemployment in our society be eradicated, so that all our people would enjoy the ideal of a better life for all. During the past 63 years, since we first met in 1954, Kathy has been my elder brother, my best friend, my political mentor, my comrade and my leader, my confidant, hero and role model. Over the years, more especially during the long and lonely years on Robben Island. thus enabling me to see through those difficult years with grace and with dignity. He has been one of the two stars in my life with consistency. The guiding star, the guiding light of that star has now been extinguished, a large void in our lives. At some point in our lives, we shall all succumb to the inflexible law of nature that we bid farewell to this material world of ours. Should there be another world beyond this one, as Comrade Joe Slover once said, and should we ever meet again, that joyous reunion would be a magnificent gift for both of us. And in ending this little tribute to you, my friend and comrade, I'm reminded of the immortal words of Lord Alfred Tennyson, who once stated in some poem, "And oh, for the touch of the vanished hand and the sound of the voice that is told." Hamba Gasly, my brother, and may you rest in peace. Peace which you so richly deserve. Amen.
Thank you so much, Comrade Isu, himself a great revolutionary leader and himself a mentor to many people in our country. Now, of course, I'm about to call upon another revolutionary hero, a woman, onto the podium to say a few words. But you know, we've tried to acknowledge everyone here. And of course, everyone here is equally important, but pull out two powerful women with us in this audience, two special women, very powerful women. What is Winnie Mandela? So loved, so much loved by so many people, and a woman who always gives us comfort. While you're still with us, we know that we will win, we will succeed, we will get to where we want to get. And another very powerful woman called Graça Machel. Truly representing the best of the women of South Africa. And of course, like Uncle Kathy, our next speaker was a defiant young woman in the 1950s. She is the last surviving leader of the history-making, courageous March of 20,000 women to Pretoria. I now call on a wonderful, brave, inspiring woman called Aunt Sophie Williams de Bruyn to come and address us.
Malibongwe. Good morning, everybody. I also observe all protocol. Today we have once again come out in our numbers as we stand here to pay our last respects to a comrade and friend, Ahmed Kathrada, Kathy, as we so fondly call him. And he used to say there are two things in life that can never be avoided, and that is old age and death. And we are today about to bury him. The past few days, together, we know about his commitment. I met Comrade Kathy fundraising party for dancing time, and we have shared many together work-wise, and special quality. When we were trying, the Colored Congress was in Johannesburg. Comrade Kathy, with his organizing skills, few of us that were in the Congress office work. Was very easy in their company, and they but when he even criticized them, he would do so in a respectful way. We all know Kathy to be a kind person. During the time that I was the organizer of Congress, there was very little funds that given to us, organizing work, little money even to buy food. Kindness assisted in, and to the late Stanley Logan, Joseph should arrange with a lady who cooked in the society that when they have done with their meals, they should keep a plate of march. It was during the organizing of the Women's March that he assisted with the Indian Youth Congress for the Indian ladies. He spoke to their husbands so that the husband wouldn't be so afraid for them to join the march. Yes. And that was what he did. In fact, he was already banned when he drove late Mrs. Kachalia and some of the ladies to the march. So Kathy was an all-rounder in so many things. In as much as he was banned, he was always trying to do his work in a clandestinely way as much as he could. Nobody knew that when he was banned, he was around the Congress of the People, hiding somewhere, but very aware of the presence and of what was going on. The other qualities that I remember of Kathy was the uniqueness of speaking, what they so famously call today truth to power. And even during those days, he wouldn't hesitate to come forward and speak this truth to power, whoever was in position of power in the Congress movement. Kathy lived at number 13, flat 13 Colbert House, 3rd floor. And flat 13 was the people's house. Everybody congregated there. When people came from another part of Johannesburg, the outlying districts of Johannesburg, they would make their way to Colbert House. We as the younger ones, we also found refuge in flat 13. Our political education took place at number 13 Colbert House. Yes, I was. Yes. When Chief Latuli, Dr. Dadu, Molvi Kachalia, and Yusuf Kachalia would come to us to discuss work and important issues, they would meet at Colbert House, discuss and to take decisions, and walk over to Market Street, and in that very basement they would take the decisions and explain to us all what it was that was decided upon. So these are some of the attributes of Kathy and many more, which I don't have any more time to share with you. But to say that to Barbara, I have already pass on my condolences and my families to you and the family of the Kathradas. And I want to say to you, Barbara, and the family, don't mourn Kathy. Remember him as you know him in life. Hold on to those memories. Remember those memories, those good years that you shared with him. And all the qualities that you can remember that you have passed on. And that the young people that you worked with and interacted with will remember that he inculcated to you all the good qualities. Because he was quite aware that you, the young people, will have to carry out another struggle, a struggle of now. And so he has equipped you properly, politically. But you also stand in good stead to fight this another struggle or this other struggle, because you are educated and the resources will be there and you will be much smarter to fight it digitally. Thank you very much.
What an inspiring, wonderful woman. Thank you. Thank you, Aunt Sophie, for what you are for us and what you've done for our country. Thank you. Dear friends, I cast my eyes a little bit to the right, and please don't attach any significance to that. And I find somebody called Andrew Mlangeni sitting there. Well, I go a little bit further to the right, in fact, right next to him, and I find George Biso sitting there. Two great South Africans. Of course, dear friends, dear comrades, we have, very important to us, a revolutionary alliance. It's an alliance led by the African National Congress. We're going to have very short tributes from each of the alliance members who are here today, representing COSATU, the SACP, and the ANC. From COSATU, we're going to have Becky and Charlie speaking to us. From the South African Communist Party, we're going to have Blade and Zimande speaking to us. And from the African National Congress, we are going to have our Secretary General Kgalema Motlanthe, speaking to us. Of course, these are all big leaders, and it's difficult to manage some of these big leaders. We're going to ask them very politely to stick to the 3 minutes that you have been given. And we're going to ask Kgalema Motlanthe to stop shaking everybody's hand. They know who you are. Please, Comrade Becky.
Amandla. Long live the spirit of Comrade Katie, long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade O.R. Tambo, long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade Rolihlahla Mandela, long live. Program Director, leaders of the faith-based organization, former presidents, deputy president, cadres of the movement and the stalwarts, but more importantly, to the members of Comrade Kathrada's, family and friends. Today, we're joining thousands and thousands of our people, wherever they are, to bid a farewell to one of our finest son of the soil, Comrade Katie Kathrada. I believe that all of us who are here today, we never receive any invitation to the contribution of Comrade. To the families, to Comrade Kathrada, to a part of our movement, to make the made, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Comrade Katie, yes, he was the member of the African National Congress. But Comrade Katie belongs to all South Africans. His contribution and the values that his movement stand for was not only for the African National Congress, but was for all South Africans, black and white. On behalf of the Congress of South African Trade Unions, as we bid farewell to one of our giants, we just want to remind all of us that the African National Congress was not formed by members of the African National Congress. Because when it was formed, on the first day it was formed, there were no members. It was South Africans who tries to fight for the liberation of all South Africans. The ANC is the leader of the society. It's a movement, it's an organization of all people. It's our movement. It belongs to all of us. We say this because leaders of our movement must at all times be truthful to themselves and to the organization. They must be brave, like Comrade Katie, but they must be honest to themselves. Comrade Katie was not only a giant, but he was humble and humble to his last day. And comrade will remember when they were released, the first groups of the comrades when they were released, Comrade Katie was able to talk to all of us in Soweto in that big stadium. And I remember him talking about those who were there. He said there was still a debate and a grievance he has on Simon van der Stel, if comrade will remember. He said he find it difficult to understand the governor of Cape then, who was Simon van der Stel, about his nationality. He said all those who came from Netherlands at that time were men. And you can't trace in the history who was the mother of Simon van der Stel, because his father came with no wife. He said what struck him was that when van der Stel was the governor, he then started to separate people, and he said the color does not belong to the South Africa. But what was troubling him was that who was the mother of van der Stel in Cape Town, because there was no white woman who came from Netherlands. As I conclude, comrade, you may want to know that one, but let me conclude before my time is over. We must remember one thing about Comrade Kati. He normally says, leaders are not organization. We must separate leaders from the organization. Leaders will come and go, but organization will remain. And it says, no matter how popular you may be, but never for a moment understood that you are bigger than the organization. It was assumed that when things were not going correct, remember the note that Mayo said to his party about it wrong. You got a responsibility to stand up and say, dear, my friend, you are doing something wrong. Please correct them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Program Director. Hogan and Rada family, our Deputy President and Presidents who are here, leaders of our alliance, the Chief Justice, Babu Mlangeni and Comrade Goldberg, the last two remaining Rivonia trialists, and all our veterans who are here, and comrades all. As the South African Communist Party, we stand up today to lower our red banner in honor of this revolutionary stalwart, Comrade Ahmed Kathrada, a cadre and a leader of our liberation movement, a communist and a principled champion of a non-racial South Africa till the end. We wish to also express our condolences to Comrade Barbara and the family. To us as the SACP, Comrade Kathy has been part of our family, political family, for decades. Comrade Kathy joined the ranks of the Young Communist League in the 1940s at the tender age of 12. And his early politicization was through the then Communist Party of South Africa and the Transvaal Indian Congress under the leadership of Dr. Yusuf Dadoo, who was later to become the General Secretary and National Chairperson of the SACP. The best way, Program Director, to describe Comrade Kathy is that to us as communists, he actually belonged to a generation that was ahead of its times. Think about it. At the height of national oppression, with the victory of the National Party as well in 1948, it could have seemed very easy to mobilize the black oppressed on the basis of being anti-white. But their answer to racism was not black chauvinism, was a superior response, which was the building of a non-racial South Africa. That's being ahead of your time. This struggle of non-racialism, we dare not take it for granted. But we also dare not forget that Comrade Kathy also understood that the struggle for non-racialism is inseparable from the struggle against class exploitation and patriarchy. This is a lesson we have learned from the likes of Comrade Kathy as a generation after them, which all future generations will actually have to look up to. As we say goodbye to Comrade Kathy, let us also not forget, they handed us over a big, proud, non-racial organization, the African National Congress. We dare not gamble with this movement. In his honor and memory, Comrade Kathy also gave us the South African Communist Party. Sometimes when I'm sitting DP, I say, hey, South Africa must thank the likes of Comrade Kathy for having a communist party in this country. That is an ally to the African National Congress. We wish to say that Comrade Kathy was very active in the cooperation between the ANC and the Indian Congresses. Was an activist, something that we need. It's unfortunate Comrade Kathy lives at this time when his wisdom is needed even more in our organization. At a time when parasitic patronage networks are today seeking to capture our movement for their narrow interests. As the SACP, in memory of Comrade Kathy and in defense of our revolution, we say no to those intentions. And we will continue to say no, no, no. In conclusion, I thought I was not at the January 8 where we were given as allies 2 minutes, but the program director is worse than the national chairperson of the ANC. I'm concluding now. Let us remember Comrade Kathy also for qualities that we need in abundance today. Being humble, simple, willing to sacrifice, and love for your people and the oppressed people of the world. Let us teach the current and future generations about this giant as part of building a new and a better South Africa. In the name of Comrade Kathy, let us also defend the political and moral authority and standing for our movement. We don't have many ANCs, we have one African National Congress. Thank you. Mandla!
Amanda. 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 Program Director, Comrade Derek, the Kathrada family, Comrade Barbara, leadership of our movement, the DP is here, DSG, National Treasurer. I didn't see the National Chairperson. Okay. President Thabo Mbeki, President Moses Sanel, President Kgalema Motlanthe, Moses Kuku, veterans of our movement, Mama, Zonge, abefundisi abalapha, namabishop. I always tell people that a bishop is just a title yomfundisi. All invited guests, izithwalango ndwethi aparangwe, ezikhoyo apha. Umlangeni, sonke izithwalango. Fellow mourners, Derek has warned me that he's going to cut me short because the eulogy by Comrade Kgalema represents me as well. I accepted that. But we're here to pay tribute to Comrade Kathrada, a hero, a veteran, the leader of our movement, a revolutionary. We want to acknowledge Comrade Kathrada for his dedication, his sacrifice, and his commitment. You know, when people acknowledge what he is missing, what he could not do, then you begin to internalize the sacrifice, the commitment, and the dedication. Kathy possessed a rare combination: wisdom and humility in one. Very rare combination. Today, anybody who is seen to be an intellectual, that will be accompanied by arrogance. But with Comrade Kathy, he had this combination. Comrade Kathy belongs to a generation, Comrade Thabo, that is described by Yusuf Dado in the funeral of Comrade Kotane. It's that description to me fits a number of comrades in that generation. This is the description: that he was incorruptible. Not only in his politics, but also in the personal life. He was a man you knew could never let you down and never do something behind your back and never deceive you. You always knew where you stood with him. Sometimes his words were harsh and hurtful, but they were never dishonest. Now, Comrade Kathy belongs to that generation. That description given by Yusuf Dado to Moses Kotane applies word for word to many in that generation. Now, I hope that his departing will remind us that there is something that pulls us together. What pulls us together as the ANC family is the commitment to resolve three basic contradictions in society, interrelated, of race, gender, and class. In all respect, whether you talk about non-racialism, today, as we sit here today, there is a rise of racist incidents. Patriarchal power relations are prevalent. Class exploitation remains the order of the day. I hope that we'll remember today that that is what pulls us to the ANC. When we say we're building a united, non-racial, non-sexist democratic society, it is about the resolution of these three contradictions. As I sit down, I want to appeal to all veterans of our movement who are here to appreciate that they have a responsibility of guiding us and many other generations of leaders who will come. That is not an option. It's a responsibility of providing that guidance. Now, that responsibility includes a number of things. Appreciating that we must engage at a level that makes us appreciate that we're being guided. I want to leave, Comrade Derek, a description of the role of a leader that was given by Comrade Le Duant, former General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam, addressing himself to collective methods of work and individual responsibility. He says, the role of those who head the organization, the leaders, is great and has a decisive character. That is why they must meet high requirements. Now, when people demand of us high level of discipline and ethics, it is not a choice, it is a requirement, because as leaders, we must meet high levels of requirements. And he goes on to say, the leaders must embody loyalty and dedication to the implementation of the line and policies of the party and the state. Sayid ko balok dala ke line comrade ta. Gas fumane line, bana ko line uti. And they must have necessary capabilities and determination to bring these line and policies into effect. They must have rich experience, foresight, aliveness to the new, a creative, imaginative mind to combine collective leadership with the ability to make a clear-sighted decision on the basis of deep knowledge of tasks assigned and from the grasp of the situation, show sense of responsibility, great determination, principled attitude, and take account and the real respect of the opinion of the others. I am leaving this as a responsibility that veterans and stalwarts of our movement have in guiding us, and provide that when we're given a responsibility of leadership, it is not a status, it is a privilege and an honor, and you serve in the best of the organization. I think we'll all emulate Comrade Kathrada, who dedicated his life to the life of this movement and the freedom of many others. And you can only do that when you love freedom for others more than you love freedom for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Gwede, the Secretary General of the ANC, Comrades Becky, Comrade Blade, for those messages. Kathy had many friends, but one of his closest friends was someone who's quite famous called Nelson Mandela, Tata Madiba. Now, when we sit here, we know that it's not that long ago, not so long ago, when we were all sitting together saying farewell to Tata Madiba. They were close friends. Now, something not many people know about Tata Madiba is that while he was loved not by millions but by billions of people all over the world, a really iconic world leader. Nelson Mandela had a boss. Nelson Mandela's boss was a white woman called Zelda Lagranzi over there. She denies it. But you know, Nelson Mandela had the humility to say, you guide me, you direct me, and then I can do my job. And I think you may not like it, Zelda, we have to give you a little bit of a credit for standing side by side with this great man over all those years. Thank you, Zelda. Now, of course, one of Comrade Kathy's big friends was somebody called Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe, himself a Robben Islander, himself serving 10 years on Robben Island. Comrade Kgalema has gone through a long route. You know, he was first a freedom fighter, then a prisoner, then a trade unionist, a general secretary of a powerful trade union, then the secretary general of the African National Congress, and then he became a deputy president. And he became a deputy president to a president called Thabo Mbeki. And we thought, now, how are these two going to work together? Well, let me tell you, dear friends and comrades, I had the privilege of serving under these two, Thabo Mbeki and Kgalema Motlanthe, and they made a great team, a great team. So, Comrade Kgalema, it is now your turn. As former inmate of Robben Island, as a leader, as a person the whole country grew to respect and still respects. Kgalema Motlanthe.
Amandla. Viva Comrade Kathrada, viva. Long live the spirit of Comrade Kathrada, long live. Program Director, Comrade Derek Hanekom. Let's set the record straight. I never served as Comrade, or rather as Deputy to President Mbeki. I was a minister with a portfolio in his cabinet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Comrade Barbara Hogan and the Kathrada family, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, the Premier of Gauteng, David Makura, members of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, led by the SG, Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe, members of the South African Communist Party Central Committee, led by Comrade Blake Nzimande, members of the Central Executive Committee of COSATU, led by General Secretary Pekin Chalinchali, honorable members of parliament here present, distinguished guests, our religious leaders, Isitwala Ndwe, Comrade Andrew Mlangeni, Isitwala Ndwe Siaparankwe, Comrade Dennis Goldbeck, and all other veterans present here, Amakala, comrades, fellow South Africans, on a day like this, we should not mince words. We should say it like it is. Gutted, saddened, and sorrowful. We are a nation in mourning. Isitwala Ndwese Aparankwe Ahmed Kathrada, one of our most revered national leaders, has shuffled off this mortal coil. Therefore, let me express our deepest condolences to Comrade Barbara Hogan and the Kathrada family, as well as his comrades and friends. Today is the day on which we close the eyes of Comrade Ahmed Kathrada permanently, because during his lifetime he opened ours forever and saved us from the blindness of our hearts. Along with countless men and women of a higher order of consciousness with whom he cast his lot in pursuance of deep ideals, Comrade Kathy helped unleash human possibilities. Warts and all post-apartheid South Africa is an attestation of such human possibility Comrade Kathy and his generation and those before him dared to imagine. In this subversive act of opening our eyes, he made us believe in our inherent ability to create a totally new social reality. Driven by these, derived from the human fellowship, his subversive cast of mind succeeded in heralding a vision for a state of being that would redefine human imagination, not only on the southern tip of the continent of Africa, but on a global. The apartheid struggle redefined, challenging the idea of a regime historically steeped in the ethos of European enlightenment, against the excesses of European self-consciousness that defined itself normatively and the rest of history. During his 26 years behind bars, there is a loftier ambition than merely to stand high in the world. It is to stoop down and lift mankind a little higher, close quote. Struck once again, snuff all poorer for it. When it does so without to the African metaphysics would be for attributing who have could not continue. And Joseph, Sulu, Reginald Tambo, Slovo, Skotani, Naika, Moses Mabida, Amina Kachalia, First, Ahmed Timol, Raymond Mhlaba, J.B. Marx, Gavin Mbeki, Yusuf Dadu, Solomon Mahlangu, and many more others. All these revolutionaries shared a common vision with him, a vision steeped in a transcendent notion of human possibility. It may very well be that they felt incomplete without the diligence of Comrade Kathy, his contagious banter, his humility, and his ability to exude human fellowship. After 87 years of exemplary life, Comrade Kathy has succumbed to mortality, as did all these comrades before him, as will all of us when our hour strikes. And so it is that during moments like this, the fragility of the human condition whips up feelings of hate, sorrow, grief, and pain in all of us whom he leaves behind. Yet, we may choose to look at things on the brighter side. If we did, we would realize that such a life as that of Comrade Kathrada is worth celebrating. A sense of fortitude would counsel to offset the pain of his mortality with the immortality of his legacy. What he and his political organization, the African National Congress, stood for has forever enriched human experience. I would say we should take comfort from the immortality of the idea that defined his social existence, the idea of freedom. While in one fell swoop, mortality has blown off his life, his vision will always remain etched in historical memory. Each day of the enjoyment of freedom for all of us is the ultimate expression of gratitude to Comrade Kathy and all those who, like him, fought to a standstill against human oppression articulated in the discourse of racialization. His legacy finds voluble expression in the centrality of the idea that his life radiated, the idea that we have the ability to create a new form of life. A new form of life anchored on unity, democracy, non-racialism, non-sexism, and justice. These principles, which Comrade Kathy lived for all his life, were not just hollow statements. They are foundational to a new form of life. It would be disingenuous to pay tribute to the life of Comrade Ahmed Kathrada and pretend that he was not deeply disturbed by the current post-apartheid failure of politics. In this regard, we did not put words into his mouth post facto or posthumously, since, true to his consistent principles, he penned a public letter to the president of our country in which he gave vent to his views about the state of the state in which our nation finds itself. In parts, his letter reads as follows, and I quote, "I have always maintained the position of not speaking out publicly about any difference I may harbor against my leaders and my organization, the ANC. I would only have done so when I thought that some important organizational matters compel me to raise my concerns. Today, I've decided to break with that tradition. The position of president is one that must at all times unite this country behind a vision and program that seeks to make tomorrow a better day than today, It is a position that requires the respect of all South Africans, which of course must be earned at all times. Comrade Kathy continues, and bluntly, if not arrogantly, in the face of such persistently widespread criticism, condemnation, and demand, is it asking too much to express the hope that you will choose the correct way that is gaining momentum to consider stepping down?" Close quote. Amandla. 354 days ago today, Comrade Kathrada wrote this letter to which a reply had not been forthcoming. As you are aware, his letter went without any formal reply. I've quoted Comrade Kathy at length in this regard to make the point that for better or for worse, what he stood for never changed according to the fluidities of history. He held on to the immutable laws of history insofar as they were prescriptive of what is most desirable for human life. Comrade Kathy took exception to the current culture of feeding frenzy, moral corruption, societal depravity, political dissolution, the gross and sleaze enveloping human mind that would put to shame even some of the vilest political current South African, and could not hesitate to call for the end of the country with whom the buck stops. Once again, here is to the human possibility. Just when a dispassionate observer would have thought the ravages of age have deprived him of his trademark intellectual vitality, Comrade Kathy let rip in this vintage moral mode. Yet he remained forever measured, a towering moral icon who would not compromise with anything outside the framework of superior human values. In this connection, he was once again reaffirming the courage, humility, selflessness, and generosity of freedom fighters within the cultural framework of self-reflection. Indeed, a measure of self-reflection is needed if human civilization is to endure. The ANC itself may disappear off the face of the earth if it fails to embrace the culture of self-reflection from time to time concerning its character and inner soul as a governing party. Comrade Kathy himself deemed a critique of current democratic government a precondition to the sustenance of our democracy. For him, the mainsprings of a cultural, political, and philosophical practice of truth-telling, being honest, expressive, and unambiguous in public discourse. Self-reflection means a process of subjective becoming by consciously grappling with objective reality. The process of self-reflection makes and remakes our subjectivity. Self-reflection amounts to questioning the very basis of the underlying postulates that frame the way we do things. Without self-reflection, human beings degenerate into a depersonalized state of parrotry, conformity, and robotics. It is where that Comrade Ahmed Kathrada remains nor let for human agency. How they expressed our current experience better when he penned his ode. Happy is the man, and happy he alone. He who can call today his own. He who says, tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today, close quote. And I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Kgalema. Thank you so much. Time is against us. Time is against us. Let it just be said on behalf of all of us. Comrade Kgalema, you are held in the highest regard, hugely respected by ordinary rank and file ANC members all over the country, by the working class of our country. Thank you, Comrade Kgalema, for what you have been to our country and for what you continue to be for our country. We are getting to the end of the program, dear friends, and we're going to get a thank you and a few directives on what happens next from Sean Bolton, from the Executive Director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. But just one little thing. We've heard such wonderful words. And now, on this moment, when Kathy departs, when Kathy leaves us, no longer with us, amongst the many things that Kathy has succeeded in doing, not only 75 years of activism, but even today, he has united thousands of people in this tent, in this marquee, around that common vision that was held so dear to him, around his principle. He has united all of us. There's no one here that will not stand up and say, what you stood for, Comrade Kathy, is what we would like to stand for. So, dear friends, dear son of the ANC, does not instruct us to unite the ANC. It instructs us to unite all the people of South Africa. It's in our constitution. When we go out of here, inspired by the words of our leaders, let us go out of here and unite all of us, from all our political parties, from all sectors of society, unite all of the people of South Africa behind these noble goals, behind the vision of Ahmed Kathrada. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I have a couple of tasks to carry out as the Executive Director of the Kathrada Foundation. First of which, to acknowledge a range of messages based on to download. So I'm not going to read all of them. That we've got messages from the Federal Republic of Germany, the Embassy of Syria, France, Egypt, the German Embassy, the European delegation to South Africa, the Swaziland Solidarity Network, Jerry Adams on behalf of Sinn Féin, the Palestinian BDS National Committee, the British High Commission, and a whole range of others. A very special note was sent by Archbishop Tutu, and Archbishop Tutu writes, when the gates of apartheid's political prison swung open in 1890, the quality of human beings who emerged was an extraordinary blessing for all South Africans. They were people of the highest integrity and moral fiber, who through their humility and humanity inspired our collective self-worth and the world's confidence in us. Ahmed Kathrada was one of those leaders, a man of remarkable gentleness, modesty, and steadfastness. He once wrote to the president to argue that he did not deem himself important enough to be awarded a high honor. A very special one from the Wits History Department, Professor Noor Niftahuddin writes, Ahmed Kathrada is the embodiment of non-racialism. Whenever I am asked to explain non-racialism, I refer to a seminar at Wits where Uncle Kathy was asked to explain what he understood it to mean. His answer was succinct and profound. It was the capacity to look at another human. He referred to the relationship with Sisulu and Mandela, and to look beyond the color of their skins, to see them as fellow humans, comrades, fathers, and sons. A whole religious organizations, educational institutions, legacy and heritage organization, the Institute for Nation Building, the FW Declaration, Martin Luther King Center, and a whole social commerce and chambers of commerce have sent their messages. To do the vote of thanks, his wife, Hogan. I was watching the footage of his 80th birthday, and in there he begs to President Zuma and former President Mbeki that he's the only person in South Africa at the time had a driver who happened to be a minister, Barbara Hogan. Before he went to hospital, he called me aside and he said, "I'm happy that we are alone. Because I want to say to you here that I love this woman so dearly. And I have come to appreciate all that she has done for me since my release." And I said to him, "You don't have to tell me that. Please make sure that you tell Barbara that." I don't think he did, but I'm conveying it to you, Barbara. We will be with you. The long road that you will walk. The empty flat that you've now bought, hoping for when he comes home that we would have set it up as a facility to make him comfortable. We will be there with you, and we will host a party as soon as possible in that new flat. The Kathrada family, you have been remarkable. The way, the dignity that you've handled all of these proceedings. Most other families would have been riven by all kinds of conflicts, but you've stood together, and that has been admirable. The yearly get-togethers that Uncle Kathy has instituted within the family, please continue them. We will come and eat on his behalf. The medical team at Donald Gordon the care that they gave to him, the long hours that they work, was just amazing. The board of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, who are the hosts of today's function. Let me be clear about this. This function is organized by the foundation, not by the family of Ahmed Kathrada. This is an initiative of the Kathrada Foundation. All of the people who've spoken are board members by and large of the foundation. We did not extend an invitation to any one of you to come here. The Gauteng provincial government, you've given us incredible support. The city of Johannesburg were just as amazing. The South African Heritage Agency made sure that Ahmed Kathrada will be lying in Heroes Acre, next to Umbeya's Nodia, next to a whole range of people there. So even in death, Ahmed Kathrada will be in a non-racial environment. The people from the Central Islamic Trust were outstanding. The way in which they carried out all of the operations after Comrade Kathy's passing just made this an easier journey for everybody. A huge thank you. All of our religious leaders and many others who would wanted to have been here, thanks, the words of comfort today as well as over the last 3 weeks. To the alliance structures, your words have been a lot. Your keeping to time was much more appreciated as well. The activists, many of the activists here today, these people in these BIPs, were in a meeting on the 14th of October 1989 to prepare for the return of Ahmed Kathrada the next day on the 15th of October 1989. Many of them are here today to bid him farewell as well, in the best way that they can by being activists. The staff of the Kathrada Foundation, but you've carried on with the work that needed to be done in the last 3 weeks, and you have been incredible. I know all of you will miss the weekly meetings or the visits by Uncle Kathy on Wednesdays. Lalu Chiba, Ahmed Kathrada would come to the office on Wednesdays. They would then go to Wimpy. And over the last 8 weeks or 10 weeks, some kind person would make sure that they didn't pay for their food. I don't know if that will continue, Lalu, if we now join you. The media, you have been fabulous today. Can you continue that fabulousness when you get to the gravesite? Please show the utmost respect for the family and the dignity of the funeral that has to go there. I also want to say, yesterday morning was the first time in weeks that fake news got it right. Future donors of the AKF. Now, I'd be failing in my duty if I don't do this. Ahmed Kathrada was our main fundraiser. 60 or 70% of the funding of this foundation was generated by him. I hope some of you will step up and fill that void as we leave here today. ER27, your presence here in terms of your services at no charge is appreciated. Shirino Printers for doing things just at odd hours is also appreciated. But before I conclude all of this, when Pravin Gordon or Gordon appear in court, Uncle Kathy said, I want to be the first one there to accompany him into court. PG, where are you? Pravin, please stand, sir. Irrespective of whether you are a minister or not, in days or weeks to come, you remain true to the values and principles that Ahmed Kathrada would be proud of. Lastly, all of you here who've come from far and wide and who have accepted that you enjoy no special status here, who didn't quibble about the seat in front when it wasn't available, we appreciate that. Because one of the things, there's no VIPs here. The only VIP here is Barbara and her family. And thanks for supporting us with that. I want to now call on the provincial chairperson of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, to start unfolding this flag that Ahmed Kathrada said he would die a member of this organization. I can confirm that his subscriptions were paid up. Whether the system will prove it, I don't know, but I can confirm that he paid. Paul, no, can the media please just wait? The procedure is going to be as follows. Paul Mashatile will fold the file out. And there, this prayer is everybody, providing you follow the prayer. From there, we will move to the gravesite. And there, I would appeal to the media and everybody else to allow the family what they require me to organize. He wanted to take you to Robben Island. pressed us to organize this thing. Unfortunately, the communications didn't work out. But I would appeal to you at some point, join any one of the other islanders here to go to that island and pay your respects. Comrade Paul. Can the Deputy President please step forward to receive this, accompanied by the religious leaders here on this side? Okay, it's first going to the Secretary General of the ANC, who will now give it over. Okay, this thing has changed now. Can I ask both of you, the presence of our religious leaders, to hand that over to Barbara Hogan? Barbara, we are with you here. We will now be on the outside, the pathways, the procession there. Former President Mbeki, Kgalema Motlanthe, Cyril Ramaphosa, Zweli Mkhize, and all religious leaders, please accompany the coffin as it goes to the prayer site. Can you just hold a second, clear the pathway there? Can we clear the pathways there, please? Can we please clear the pathway there? Just delay this. Come see. Right, can the marshals please form the queue there? Zweli Mkhize, Comrade Zweli Mkhize, will you join this? Comrade Mantash is trying to make his way there as well. Ismail, all your religious leaders are here with you. The procession can now commence. Right? Can we move now? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the steps so that we do not have any inshallah and to allow let's put the janaza down and leave family the front inshallah.
Yeah. Makhoba. President Becky. We don't want any suggestions. Can you just line up? Yes.
prayer. The units will differentiate 4 calls, will be individual prayers that would be recited. After the first call would be praising the Almighty. After the second call, salutations upon the Prophet, the Almighty, and after the third, live to the Almighty. And that will be the brief explanation.
Everybody without the excess comes. Guys, if you don't have an access card, please move up. Please, man. Please, guys, move up. Take the steps down 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. Just give us a shahada.
All sit down together. Sit down together. Slowly, good straight, yeah. Sliding off. Right. Take the plastic out. Take the plastic out first. Hold the weight in the center. Hold it. Hold it together or slide it in. This like, as we put the body, we push the body back down towards the Qibla, which is towards the house of Prophet Abraham, starting in and we keep that way, his face is facing Mecca and it's facing the Qibla. So we put a slip in the grave and we fill the body so the body is standing there towards the Mecca is come out. And now what we will do, planks. Put your head, we will line it, and we put the sheet close it, and then we will allow you to just come up. Very some take Pick it up, yeah. This is only right next door to you. The plan is to keep the body away from the sand, from the soil. Yes. We don't have a proper box, but we utilize the plank to keep the soil away from the sir, you may have a look. Come. Please. Please, leave it up like it. Just close the gate between you. Right, perfect. Next one. It's a chamber. Now what you want is please, can we have total silence, please, my brothers? Please, my brothers, thank you. Have a look, sir. Chief Justice, someone? Here's the Chief Justice, Charles. You leave that inside. Sir. And now we will take the sheet and we'll put the sheet down so the sand does not go onto the body. Okay. No.
Raise the stairs. Lower the stairs. Lower the stairs. Bring some like a spade. You get it, get him out. Okay, 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Ahmed. You know what? We'll let people make a line first. Hold on, let it come out of them. Come out. Yeah. Let's make the line. Yeah. You guys need to make the line. Let's make the line. Come on the other side of the grid, you guys need to come around that way. Just start making a line. That's it. Silence! No, carry on, the people can...
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يحيطون
إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان وجعلنا من الراشدين وجعلنا من المتقين وجعلنا من الصالحين. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وسكنهم في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وادخلهم في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم واكرمهم في الجنة. اللهم اجعل قبرهم روضة من رياض الجنة. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم ارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من كل شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
This is from the Palestine. Continue. Maybe just open up.
There's nobody in the back. Nobody in the back.
No, we go this way.
contract answer.